The first 21 days of January 2026 are officially in the book. And through 3 weeks, the GTA is seeing the slowest start to a year in terms of real estate transactions in this decade. I'm going to jump into a couple of charts today, including a shocking one showing you months of inventory across each region of the GTA. We're going to look at a quick snapshot of each market in the GTA and where sales are at relative to the last 6 years. We're going to look at the year over year changes and then talk about some of the knock on effects in the industry, how it's going to affect the industry itself and you as a consumer. Months of inventory, which is the amount of time it would take to sell out of all current listings, assuming no new listings came to market and we kept up with the current rate of sales. Well, that number hit new highs right across every single market in the GTA. Toronto Condos eclipsed the 9 mark. We saw York region get up over 8 for the first time. We saw Halton region creep up on 8. Peel and Toronto freehold markets are both up firmly in the 7 territory. And Durham region, while it is lagging everywhere else, it is the most competitive market still that we are seeing. It's still up around that 5 number. The big spike we are seeing in months of inventory can mostly be attributed to the fact that sales and the rate of sales have fallen off a cliff. This is almost an inverse graph of what I just showed you with when it comes to months of inventory. Toronto condos, Toronto freeholds, everywhere is seeing big drop-offs from the beginning of December to where we are at right now. And really everybody is lagging where we were at a year ago. Now that rate of sales takes a snapshot every single week as to how many sales occurred over the previous 30 days. And that is how we put our months of inventory together. But off the top, I said is the slowest start to a January we've seen. So let's just look at those 21 days in isolation across each market segment. The GTA as a whole has seen 1,779 sales through 21 days of 2026. That is the slowest start this decade. 2023 came in at the second slowest at 1,787 sales. And then everywhere else has been above that 2,200 mark that we saw in 2025. I made a prediction a couple of videos back that 2026 could not get any slower than 2025. And being proven wrong so far, do you think I'll be proven wrong when all is said and done? Let me know in the comments below. Toronto freehold properties saw their slowest opening 3-week stretch to a year this decade as well, coming in with 241 sales. Previous slowest was 2023 at 256. Then you had to go back to 2024 and 2025 where it was virtually the same, 288, 289 sales those couple of years. Toronto condos have seen 383 reported sales through 21 days of 2026. That is slower than 2023, where we saw 416 sales reported, and much slower than the 505 we saw last year and the 573 we saw in 2024. Lumping all of Durham region in together is not quite the slowest start to a year that we have seen in terms of those first 3 weeks. 2023 was a little bit slower with 238 sales. 258 is the only other time this decade that we have seen less than 300 total sales through 3 weeks to start a year. Less than 100 reported sales per week across the entire Durham region. The York freehold market has seen the smallest drop off from 2025 into 2026 through those first 3 weeks. Only one sale less than we saw last year, coming in at 263, and it did outpace what we saw in 2023, where there were 225 reported sales through 3 weeks. York condos are a little different than the freehold market. Again, it is the slowest start to a year that we have seen, with only 78 sales reported in 2026. That is down from 91, the previous slowest opening to a year this decade. The York condo market has experienced its slowest start as well, with 78 sales so far through 3 weeks in 2026. Back in 2023, we actually saw 91 sales through those first 21 days. Peel freeholds are not holding up quite as well year over year as what we saw with the York region freehold market. Again, only the second time this decade that we have seen less than 300 sales through 21 days. That's 271 sales so far this year. Back in 2023, the slowest start to a year, we saw 227 sales in the Peel freehold market. Peel condos have seen 6 less sales reported this year in 2026 than we saw back in the previous slowest year of 2023. So 106 sales this year versus 112 back in 2023. Halton region wraps up the GTA with 2026 coming in as the slowest opening 3 weeks to a year that we have seen. Just 179 sales reported in all of Halton region. Back in 2023, the previous slowest year this decade, we saw 222 sales reported through 21 days. Here's a look at the year over year percentage change in reported sales from 2025 to 2026 to show you which markets are slowing down the most from last year versus which ones are holding up the best. York freehold market is only down 0.38%, making it the smallest dropper. The biggest drop that we are seeing is in Halton region, where we're down about 36% in reported sales. The York condo market is coming in at around 34%. And the market that is holding up second best would be Durham region at 14.57%. Look through this chart. You can see the total here on the very right-hand side. Sales activity across the GTA is down 20%. We cannot treat the GTA as one giant market. It is broken down into a bunch of smaller markets, and this gives you an idea of where activity is happening the most frequently and the least frequently relative to last year. Low sales activity in and of itself is frustrating for consumers, especially people trying to sell homes. You need to be super realistic to move your property, but there's a few themes that I want to keep my eyes on for the rest of 2026 that may continue to play out. First off is pressure in the new construction market. We've talked about this on the channel. Fires in 2022 through 2025 were really a theme at new construction sites. We saw them happen everywhere from Pickering to places in Peel and Brampton area. We'd see fires even in Vaughan at new construction sites, big fires breaking out. Not to be too conspiratorial, but the timing of these fires happening, lining up with the fact that people are having issues closing on properties because of appraisals coming in short, because when these products were purchased 4 or 5 years ago, the values that people were paying for these homes is much higher than what market value is at this point in time. So look for some maybe continued pressure in that new construction market. We need to make sure that in 2026, RICO does a great job at regulating what is happening with trust accounts, because as there is less sales activity happening, that is less money coming into brokerages. That means that maybe more nefarious things are likely to happen, dipping into those commission trust and real estate trust accounts to pay bills, pay investors, whatever it looks like. If we want consumers in Ontario to take this industry seriously, RICO really needs to step up and make sure things like this are not continuing to happen through 2026. As our colleague David Ursino pointed out, another theme for 2026 that we want to keep an eye on is what is going to happen with agent count. So in 2025, 52.7% of TREB agents closed 0 deals. TREB membership in the last 2 years has also dropped from 75,000-ish to about 70,000. So you are seeing people getting out of this industry, meaning maybe less choice for consumers. I don't know if that's a bad thing. It's a pretty saturated market as it is, but this could be a good thing in terms of getting some of the riffraff, maybe part-time agents that aren't taking things as seriously. I don't want to slag on all part-time agents because I know amazing part-time agents as well, but people that treat this industry and this job as professionals, I think having more of them, a higher percentage of people in the industry doing it full time, is going to be a good thing for consumers. And the last theme that's going to be very interesting that could shape the landscape or kind of mold the landscape of GTA real estate a little more is this brokerage on brokerage or brand on brand battles that we see playing out. This is one case that happened last June. A couple Keller Williams offices tried to leave for Royal LePage. Keller Williams has since come back and they were granted an injunction because it was deemed that the Keller Williams franchise owners terminated their agreement illegally, trying to branch and bring a bunch of agents over to a different brand. And more recently, even we've seen a massive Royal LePage brand leave Royal LePage to head over to Remax. That's the Reese family, which owns Your Community Realty and Connect Realty. They moved last week to break its partnership with one of Canada's largest national real estate brands to join the American-owned Remax. So this leanness is going to put pressure on brands to deliver. It's going to put pressure on brands to retain agents. It's going to make things seem like maybe a grass is greener situation with another brand. So I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe a lot of brokerage switching happening, maybe more than we're used to seeing in 2026 as well. While it's been a lackluster start from a sales perspective across GTA real estate, there's been many other news headlines to make it a relatively exciting year. I expect a low sales environment to really show some of the cracks in the industry as we go forward. I'll try to keep you updated each and every week as to big new developments that do happen. Let me know in the comments below what you're looking forward to seeing in videos in the coming weeks. I appreciate you all for sticking with me right through to the end of this video. Until we speak again next time, please stay safe and cheers. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button, consider subscribing to the channel, and check out some of the videos that I've done in the past couple weeks on your screen right now.